All right, let's talk about some of the baits that may not be the first ones on your list if you're fishing in places like Florida or South Carolina or Texas or the upper Gulf Coast. But when you're here in Louisiana, these are baits that are solid choices that always work. Now, one that does work everywhere would probably be
The spoon.
the spoon.
Everywhere.
The spoon probably works anywhere for a redfish because it's just such a good solid choice. In particular, these willow blade spoons that have weed guards, because you can work them in the ponds, over the grass mats, and they don't get hung up that bad. For me, it's simple. I mean, you can throw them and you can't spook fish that are too shallow because they land light on the water. So this one may be a stretch to say that you're not using it everywhere. But the next three, I would say definitely. Ryan would probably agree with me. One would be the spinnerbait. The way the spinnerbait works is it's always regarded as a more or less a bass bait, really.
Sure.
But I mean,
I started using them in the late 70s. They laughed at me. Boy, we can catch a redfish with that. I had to go to 40,000s. But it emulates a crab so well because those back paddles on a crab are just doing that. And that does exactly the same thing. I like a spinnerbait over a spoon because I can control it.
Yeah.
If I need to come
Lift-wise.
over a grass line, I can come right over and drop it on the other side, and it does everything. It's not out of control. You can control that bait. You can slow it down, speed up, and control it in the grass.
And it's got lots of thump.
Oh yeah.
So it calls fish in a way that a spoon might not be able to do. Now, it may be obnoxious in crystal clear water in some venues, but here, where you have some off-color water, it's great. This one here is made super durable. This is the Z-Man Bullseye. It's made so that it can withstand strike after strike after strike, catch after catch, because a lot of the bass spinnerbaits will not hold up to this fishery.
Yeah, and if you get bad conditions, it's windy and stuff, it's great for prospecting for fish.
That's right.
You can throw it on the bank, going down the bank, and you keep your lines taut, and it's just a great bait.
All right, let's talk about another one. This one's my personal favorite because I feel like it comes through grass better than any bait I've ever used. And it's just a smaller profile. It's a little easier to cast for most of us because you don't have the spinner blade kind of affecting the distance of the cast. This one casts much farther, and that would be the chatterbait. The Z-Man Chatterbait is just an outstanding bait, and they come in a variety of sizes and styles.
The best part about it is the take. When they hit it, you think they're going to take your shoulders off. I mean,
it's almost electric.
Oh
it's like you've gotten electrocuted. And a lot of that is what? It feels like a crab moving through the water.
It emulates the crab, and they try to get a crab. When they hit a crab, they get it in the crushers so they can crush you. Whenever you catch a redfish, in Louisiana and clean them, because they don't clean them in Florida apparently. So when you get that and you take it up, there's pieces of crab, and there's never a whole crab. They always crush. Those crushers in the back of their jaws will do it. So he gets it in there and he tries to get it in those crushers. So the take is just immense.
Yeah, it is a vicious strike. But this, another great low light bait, great dirty water bait, great all around bait for grass. It does a fantastic job. And if it's not popular where you are, it's definitely popular here. This bait here might be the #1 way, especially for bull reds.
Yeah, for sure.
And what we've done here is we've got a popping cork, and we'll take a closer look at it. You can see the teeth marks in this popping cork. But these cup face corks that make such a loud hammer pop, pop, and we hook them up with 50-pound monofilament or fluorocarbon leader because chances are you're going to get a fish on the jig and a fish that strikes the cork, and you're going to have something that will withstand that. Now you'll notice, you'll say, well, how did you rig that? Well, this is what I call the Redfish Eye. It's a little bit longer shank hook, and instead of running it all the way through the bait, lots of times I'll just nose hook it that way. These fish see that pogey moving through the water after the pop, and it doesn't matter that I nose hook it. That way I don't have to fight the whole slide down the hook jig thing constantly all the time, and it doesn't let them get it as deep. It seems like I hook them in the mouth a lot better this way, and they don't get it all the way.
They're not short striking.
So they're not short striking. So this is a great setup, and we have it on an extra heavy action rod with a 5,000, 6,000 size reel. When we're out there catching the big fish or any fish where we know we're going to be in the mix with big jack crevalle and whatever, you've got to do that. But all you got to do is look at that cork and you'll be impressed.
See the teeth marks?
Yeah.
Sometime when you get into big schools, if you still have your cork, it is white. No more color. It's crushed to pieces because one redfish is here, and as he's fighting, the other ones eat your cork.
Yeah.
And now you have two 25, 30-pound fish fighting against each other. If you don't have 50-pound,
You have no shot.
you're done.
You have no shot.
Period.
So that's a little insight on some of the best baits that you can use when you're out here in Louisiana fishing for bigger redfish.
Yep.